I've spent the last 6 months in League war rooms, suffocating in silk and listening to generals who think war is a game of slow-motion chess. They expect us to be another cog in the machine, predictable, bureaucratic, slow. They don't understand that a Ricochet doesn't stay put. I've got our old Star League base on the silent rock being hollowed out and rebuilt into a command hub. And Vandals got our new colors flying, the Ricochet emblem on League purple. It's time to stop learning their way and start teaching them ours. We're not building a traditional regiment. We're building a ghost that hits like a thunderbolt. The marble floors are cold beneath my polished boot, while the generals talk of supply lines and loot. They're moving icons on a dusty ancient screen, safe in the shadows, miles from the machine. I treason the arcs with a vintage in my hand, mapping the holes in the league's heavy plan. They want a formation, they want a steady line, but I'm looking for a trigger and a break in the design. Bureaucracy is poison, the strategy is stale. They're reading from a manual designed to fail. But Vandals in the hangar, she's stripping off the weight. We're rewriting the script, we're dodging the fate. Oh, we're lightning in silk where the edge of the blade, cutting through the rules that the generals made. Not a slow-moving regiment, not a cog in the gear. We're the nightmare that the great houses fear. Purple in the paint, fire in the soul. We're taking command and we're taking control. The silent rock is screaming with the sound of the drill, turning the rubble into a weapon of will. We don't need a map, we don't need a long delay. We mobilize in seconds, we're God in the fray. I'm not sitting in the rear, I'm not playing the host. I'm leading from the front, I'm the tip and the ghost. So when the target is blinking, when the pressure is high, I'll be the first one to drop from the sky. Let the generals plan with their maps in the dark. We're the one to ignite the lightning bolt scarred. Yeah, we're lightning in silk when the edge of the blade, cutting through the rules that the generals made. Not a slower moving regiment, not a cog in the gear. We're the nightmare that the great houses fear. Purple in the paint, fire in the soul. We're taking command and we're taking control. I've stood in those high-ceiling rooms and watched them push their little tokens around the board. They've forgotten the smell of ozone and burned wiring. They've forgotten that I was once a street rat in the slums, a punk kid with nothing but a Neuralink and a death wish, learning that a war isn't won by a spreadsheet. It's won by the person inside the cockpit who refuses to quit. These generals, they think they're running an office. They think they're optimizing variables while they ignore the human element entirely. They build plans that look perfect in a report, but they break the moment they meet the grid of a real battle. Well, let them have their ink and paper wars. I know how a merc fights because I am a merc. You don't manage a pilot like a desk job, you ignite them. And I've got a plan forming in my head. Something fast, something dirty, and something that doesn't need a committee's approval to break their lines. Let the suits keep their maps. I'm dead.